welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Welcome, Lynn.
My
We're so
pleasure.
happy to have
Thanks.
you.
I'm happy to be here too.
Yes, I'm so excited to meet you. I've heard, so much about you, but I'm glad
Oh,
that we really
likewise.
didn't get to talk, so now we're
Yeah.
going to find out. So tell me what you do. Tell me about yourself a little bit.
Okay. Well, I am a mom, and I'm married, and I live in Centerport. And my
one
career,
children?
I have two children.
Okay.
One is 20, and the other one is 18, heading
Okay.
off to college this week,
Where
which
they-
is really
where is he going?
exciting.
Him,
He's
boy,
going
boy?
to Stony Brook.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Great
your
school.
20-year-old?
The 20-year-old is lifeguard, EMT, firefighter,
That's
and wants
wonderful.
to get into the city firefighter program.
That's great.
So he's working really hard.
That's great. The
Really
hardest
proud of
job you
him.
have is
Yeah.
being a mom.
Definitely.
I know. I'm right there. Go ahead.
But right now, my career is building on being an ADHD coach for teenagers and college students. In addition to that, I say it's my day gig, but I also am a special education teacher and have been for 10 years.
That's wonderful. Now,
So,
how did you get into that?
Well, my background is in the fashion industry, and then I got married and had kids and stayed home. And both of my sons, one son, the older one, had ADHD, which I didn't really understand or know much about it.
Now, back then, and I could tell you, like now, it's like everywhere. But
Yeah.
even when, I have a 21-year-old and a 17-year-old, when my 21-year-old, she had terrible allergies. So you never heard about allergies. You never
Right.
heard about the ADHD.
Yeah,
You never
yeah.
heard about that attention deficit.
Yeah.
So was it hard for you, back then? Because I know I had the nut allergy, and they didn't believe us.
A lot of it is, and deny, no, he doesn't. He's just a kid that
Right.
just wanders around a lot.
Don't give them too much sugar.
Right,
I
right.
can
A
definitely
lot
see
of
that.
people are so quick to diagnose now.
Yes.
Exactly.
Now,
Yes.
I remember
Now
when
it's
I
like
was-
overdiagnosed.
Right, when I was, actually, I got diagnosed with ADHD.
Right.
And how long ago was that? Yesterday?
You're so funny.
I know.
You're so funny. So I got diagnosed with ADHD way back, and it's always with you. I still have it, but
Yes.
Clearly.
we'll be trying to be professional here.
I forgot.
I weaned off it. I've gotten better and whatnot, but it's so quick now because now my wife and I are talking with our new baby,
Yeah.
and
So I got a second master's degree. So I have two masters in elementary ed and special ed. And so I've been teaching for the last 10 years.
So do you teach in public school, private school?
Public school,
Okay.
middle school, I teach self-contained, resource room, IEP, everything, 504s.
Now, I know this, my son has processing.
Okay.
But when you
Yeah.
get thrown into it, you have no idea.
None,
And
yeah.
you really don't have any support unless you
Right.
have friends or people around you that are going through it. I know.
That's so true.
So for you to be like an advocate and have your personal experience, you're probably able to help so many people
Well-
navigate through the system.
Well,
Because that's such a
exactly.
system to go through.
Exactly. And so as a coach, I had met some other people that were doing ADHD coaching. I never even considered it. And it is a huge value to students.
So how do you approach that?
Well, basically, the parents usually call me first.
Okay.
And they're panicked. What do I do? My
Right.
son's going off to college. My daughter's in high school, not doing well in school.
Right.
And I talk to them for about a half an hour, a free session.
Right.
It's usually on the phone. A lot of people find me on my website or through referrals.
Right.
And then I ask, did your son or daughter, were they pressured into having a coach, or how do they feel about it?
Right. Well, that's a great question.
Because-
Especially to the kids, too.
The coaching is really about them.
Yes.
The kids, the
Exactly.
students are my client.
a lot of
Yes.
parents like to push their kids.
And
That's a good question,
yeah,
Right, and
so
the kids don't want to do it, especially
Right.
the
That's right. And the
teenagers.
kids don't want to do
I
it.
don't want to talk to a professional.
That's
I don't
right.
want to
They're
deal
not
with
going to want
anything.
the help. It's wasting
No.
your time. and-
No.
Right. So the first thing is, are they on board? Is this something for them? And then I want to talk to them on the phone.
Yes.
So that they see what I'm like and how it is. It's a very non-judgmental relationship.
Yeah.
They're so used to people judging them and teasing
Yeah.
them and telling them they're lazy or they can't do the work, when
Right.
in fact they really can. They just need some of the strategies
Right,
to do
right.
much better.
Right. That's amazing.
So
It's very
they,
interesting.
once I talk to them on the phone, then they say, I ask them, is this something for you? Would you be interested in this? And then the next step is an intake, which we do about an hour and a half, 2-hour intake with the parents and the child. And then the coaching itself is with the student. It's confidential, 100%
Right,
confidential.
so you can't tell their mom,
No.
their parents.
It is, and it's very empowering for them to know that.
Right. But how do you feel
get
that
that
they do?
self-confidence.
So do you find a lot of resistance by them, or you feel like you're able to relate to them so that they, in turn, can trust you almost like as a friend?
Yeah,
as opposed to like a professional.
I think with my background and as a mom and as a teacher, I think they can understand that I relate to who they are and what their
Right.
needs are. And they don't have to have ADHD or a learning disability. It could be other things like anxiety or stress, or, you know, I cover so many things in a coaching session.
And that brings up a good point. So, do they come to you once they're diagnosed, or can they come to you and say, you know what, my son, or even themselves come to you and say, I think I'm stressed, or go back into depression? You know, speaking of Robin Williams
Yeah.
and ADHD. So, do they have to be diagnosed? Do they already have to have it, or can you help them see if they actually do have it?
Yeah, I'm not a diagnostician, although I'm happy to refer many professionals that I know that can do a complex diagnostics on them. But I'm really, if they want to work with me, it doesn't matter whether they have ADHD diagnosed or not. I work with areas like time management, organization,
That's everything.
study skills,
amazing.
even just helping them be a self-advocate, you know, whether it's not being able to talk to a teacher,
Right.
or ask for what they need, or ask for extra notes. Maybe even in relationships, health and wellness we talk about. Let's say their diet. I have one client who, when he gets stressed, he doesn't eat. And he's going off to college by himself. I mean, that's
That's
something,
the
so that's an area that we might work together on.
That's amazing.
I help them if they're breaking down projects. That can be so daunting
Yes.
for somebody that's got executive functioning issues or really doesn't know how to go about it.
Right.
So we'll take the projects and break them down into small bits,
Right.
and I'll work with them on how to do that.
So you're like a resource room outside of the school.
Yeah.
Because I was part of resource room when I was there, you know, and one of my main skills was study skills. And I was always very organized.
Yeah.
But I was all over the place. You
Yeah.
know, from it. So having someone like you in their backcourt, you know, and someone that they can call and be their confidant is a huge thing.
But even for a parent, from a parent's perspective, having
That's
you
big
in my
also.
life,
Yes,
that would have
big.
made
It's
my
very
life
big.
so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I fought and fought and fought for services, and then finally, I think it took 3 years.
So
Yeah,
I
it
remember
is a
my mother
yeah.
fighting for
It was very
my
frustrating.
aunt is a special ed teacher in the Jericho School District.
Oh, okay.
So she knows a lot. She knows a lot about the fighting and whatnot, and
'Cause they don't wanna give
especially-
services.
Especially now, going back to it, is the fact that all these kids now are getting diagnosed.
Yes.
Oh, for
Now
like
it's-
you said, you're running around. Oh, ADHD.
Which
Well,
is ridiculous
it's
because
crazy.
it's not.
There is a
It's
lot
crazy.
there is a lot of controversy, and there's a lot of good press, bad press, unfortunately.
Yes.
Yes, ADHD.
Okay.
ADHD and ADD are under the same umbrella now. So what we call it is there's 3 types of ADHD. There's the inattentive type, which we used to call ADD. There's the hyperactive type, and then there's the type that's kind of a mixture of both.
Interesting.
So when I say ADHD, it really encompasses
Everything.
all of that. Yeah.
At what age do children typically get diagnosed?
That's been controversial too.
Okay.
And-
As a mother, you know, of a special ed, I mean,
Yeah.
it's just really, I mean, he's going to be a senior right now. So, like, I feel like we're kind of done.
Wow.
When do you take them on as far as clients or, you know, students of yours?
Well, I'm a trained not only ADHD coach, but I'm also a life coach. And there are many life coaches and ADHD coaches out there. My specific area that I like to focus on are teenagers in high school and college students. And when I coach the college students, I use telephone and Skype, and they
Yes.
just work with college students. So I can basically
That's
reach out
great.
all across the country.
And you follow up
And
and,
help
make
them.
You don't
sure.
excuse me. So you don't do just Long Island. You can do
Yes,
anywhere.
exactly. And on Long Island, I have some that I go to their house, some that come to me in my Centerport home office, and now I'm branching out and doing more of the students that are farther away and using Skype and the telephone.
So do you take them from when they're in high school and then keep them through college?
If they want to. You know, it's
Okay.
really up to them, you know,
Okay.
what they want.
And just see how they're doing?
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, how are they keeping up with the program and how they're doing in school, and are they able to live
Right.
alone?
Well, how
you know, out
the
of the
coaching
house.
works is I meet how it works, and that's a good thing for me to talk about is I work with them every single week for 30 minutes a week, every single client, a set time every week. And it's usually a minimum of 3 months. Because
Once a week.
Once a week. Because it doesn't happen overnight. The changes don't
And
happen
a
right
half
away.
hour, as we
Goes
know,
very
goes
fast.
like this.
But then again, the
You
half
know?
hour is perfect timing for somebody that's got attention
Right,
deficit.
okay, all right, okay,
You know,
I
then they're
understand
kind
that.
of losing interest
Smart.
after that.
Right.
Smart, yeah.
So we keep it. But the key to ADHD coaching is accountability.
Okay.
And what that is all of my clients, and we discuss all of this in advance, they have to check in with me every single day.
Really?
And they send me text messages every day. So before the session is over, we agree on what are the types of things that you want to achieve this week.
Okay.
And
So like, for instance, what would be like one of the goals?
one of the goals might be make sure that you get all of the textbooks that you need, because school's starting.
Okay.
Make sure your schedule is the way it is.
I
Make
remember
sure
those
you
days.
have your assignments and
backpack's ready.
your backpack. Some of it is just, following up on meeting new people or finding out where
So is it
the
really
basketball
also
team is
focused on
playing.
making them more independent?
It's absolute. That's what it's all about.
okay.
Is helping them so that they can
Independence.
succeed on their own.
On their own, right, okay.
With whatever. I mean, whatever struggles they have with ADHD, we can turn it into something good and something positive. And their sessions with me are always about non-judgment. We're happy. We come up with rewards. We come up with a PCA, a personal coaching agreement. So there's goals. And it's the kids' goals.
It's like a game.
It's
It's
not
like
the
a game.
parents' goals.
It's like a game.
No,
you know,
it's all about
their
them
goal.
for 30
Yes.
minutes a
Right.
week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is what I want to do.
What do you want to achieve?
She
So-
makes it fun. She makes
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
interactive. It's not like it's not like it's another school.
Or it's not
No.
like me
You
telling my
know,
son, okay, you need to get this done
so-
by Tuesday.
Right. It's a different-
Exactly.
it's a different person,
There's
you
no
know.
nagging. Yeah.
And
It's all-
I know ADHD, sticks with you through your whole
Yes,
life.
yes, it does.
As does depression and anxiety and everything. So once they're done with college, because I know you said you like the teenagers in college, can you still work with them? Do you still work with them? Are they able to contact you throughout their lives?
Sure, absolutely. I think that would be fantastic. And also about the depression, anxiety, a lot of the students that have ADHD, almost all of them, have something else that's going along with it.
Right.
So sometimes we can address the anxiety, test anxiety, the struggles. If it's something that's more that they need a therapist or a doctor, I would refer that too. I work really nicely with therapists and psychologists together
have your
because
own-
working on something a little different
Do
than what I
people
work on.
usually come to you before they go to a therapist or psychologist?
It's
Is it the other
been
way
mixed.
around?
No, I have therapists that refer me because they know what they're working on.
Right, and they
And
want to
I
accomplish.
can go into more of the strategies and the
depth,
time
right.
management and, really the week-to-week struggles.
You gave us a lot of great information, and I want our audience to know and our viewers to know how to reach you. So if you can
Okay,
look
thank
into
you.
into the beautiful camera over there, and just let our guests know, our viewers know how to reach you.
Okay.
We will put it on the website as well. Because I
Excellent.
definitely want to get you out there. I think a lot of people need someone like you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially me having ADHD, as we heard of her with depression, and her kids
And
as
my
well.
son, right.
So there's a lot out there.
Yeah.
And having an advocate like yourself is definitely
Yeah.
an amazing thing
Thank
to do.
you.
If you can look into our handy dandy camera,
Okay.
and
I recommend CHAD, which stands for Children and Adults with ADD and ADHD.
Okay.
There's a Nassau chapter and a Suffolk chapter, and they have monthly meetings and incredible guests, professionals, and they have support groups, and it's really wonderful.
Now, are you ever like a parent advocate? Like for when I was going through it and I was fighting by myself and I really didn't have anybody to help. Like, do you get involved?
that's a great question.
Do you get involved
I
with that?
could. I mean, I could definitely, if somebody needed that, I could do that with them, or even give advice. If it's something much more complicated,
Yeah, of
I
course
have
not. Right, you would
people that
refer.
I could refer them to, who is
Right.
a full-time advocate, and that's what they do just on Long Island.
Right.
And then there are also lawyers that work
Yes.
just with the special needs population. So I'd like to do refer word. Not many people
Absolutely.
know that there's an
No,
ADHD
this is-
coach.
it's
Not many
amazing.
people know what they do.
Exactly.
And whether it's family or friends, just getting the word out.
And just somebody to be able to call,
Yeah,
especially
just
like
call.
I said, as
It's a free
parent,
consult.
to
You need
say,
something.
Yeah.
who can you help? You know, how can you help me? I know if you
Yeah.
can't help me, but could you refer me to somebody
Exactly.
who can help me navigate through this very, choppy waters that I'm going through?
Exactly, I'd be happy to.
In this world nowadays, with everything going on and the diagnosing and the depression and this and everything going on, someone needs that person to speak to.
Yeah.
And I think you being there for these kids
Yeah.
is amazing.
It's great.
You know,
It's wonderful.
I want to talk a little bit about networking. But
Yeah.
before we do, if you can let our audience know anything else that we didn't cover or we didn't ask you that you think is
want it,
important,
right.
that you want our viewers to know.
I think we pretty much covered it all. I mean, it's really a phone call. Doesn't matter where you live. We can do it over the phone, over Skype, over internet. And now's the time to really think about it. If you've been the hovering parent over a student that's struggling in high school and they're going off to college by themselves. I mean, college is a huge change.
Very scary.
And they're all of a sudden now have to do their own laundry, go to school on their own, they have to
Eat.
navigate, they have to eat,
Eat.
they have to have a social
Seriously,
life.
do laundry, but seriously, they
It
need
is-
to function. And when you're used to mommy and daddy
Yeah.
doing that all the time,
And a lot of the kids think they want to do it on their own.
Right.
They're not necessarily on board.
Right.
But I
But
want
then
them
it's
to
very
reach out and talk
overwhelming.
to me. The college students can call me themselves. They don't have to go through their mom and dad.
Right.
I'm
So at
happy
what-
for them to
great.
call
So
me.
at
That's
what
great.
age do they have to go through?
They could call me at 16 and 17 if they feel comfortable.
is that like the
Okay.
youngest that you take them?
No,
No.
I could go definitely through high school. Early high school would be fine.
Right, which is like 14.
I've worked with kids in middle school too,
Right.
but it becomes more of a logistics because of where I'm located.
Right.
Most of the kids are driving themselves or they're doing Skype, so it really is a different level.
Well, Lynn
Right.
Miner-Rosen, it's been an awesome time.
Oh, it's been
I'm
great
so
being
happy
with you
that you
guys.
came on and to educate so many people.
I
Oh,
learned a
good.
lot. If you
My
could please,
pleasure.
for one last time, look into our beautiful camera and let them know how they can reach you. I will be putting it on the website and
Thank you.
everything.
Thanks.
But to all our viewers, let them see your beautiful face and go right ahead.
So my phone number is 1-800-426-3912. My website is CoachLynnMR.com. My Facebook is Coach Lynn MR, and I'm on Twitter with 858 followers now, which is really great, at ADHD Coach Lynn.
Nice. And I do want to mention that I have your card in front of me. I know they can't see it out there, but the reason why we have the
Yeah.
beach behind us today, because I know we're usually on the couch.
Yes, we're usually on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
You have the beach
Yeah.
in the back, and I
Yeah.
think it's nice. It's very
Very
nice
Soothing.
soothing, yeah.
Very
Right.
soothing.
And
yes.
the puzzle piece, although I know that there are some other organizations that use puzzle pieces, I believe that ADHD coaching is the missing puzzle piece
Yes.
for students with ADHD.
That's incredible.
Right.
Again, thank you very much.
It was
You know,
such a
it's-
pleasure
it's
having you.
Thanks.
really.
Definitely. I apologize for always moving.